ninth grade point of view, it probably could have been a lot more productive than I made it out of. And I only followed what I learned in the class, so I wasn't really standing out from everyone else. So I sort of underscored what I wanted to do, and I wasn't like scoring as high as I wanted, and sort of frustrated. But I did find a few good people to look up to and like inspire me to work harder. And even though I didn't spend a lot of time on it, my friends started to notice that I was surpassing them in knowledge. So in 7th grade, I started to become a little bit more serious. And I finished Alchemist this year on AOPS, and I got an 18 on Aims to 8. I still think I probably should have done better, but I'm pretty happy that at least I got an award. So I finished up the Introduction to Geometry, and I started working on the Introduction to Counting. The Introduction to Counting is also a pretty nice book, as counting is a pretty common subject in the math competition. So I placed first at CGCC, which is a competition that's held over here for 7th to 8th graders. And it's pretty funny because in 7th grade, I also failed chapter. I got like 50-something place. So like you might be wondering, how did I get to state? Well, I got extremely lucky. I got top 4 in my school. And I was scared that I was going to make state. And then what happened was our team got 2nd in state. So I got carried to state by my team. So at that point, my teacher was regretting putting me on the team because I was sort of dragging down our team's score at chapter. But we came back a few months later, and I think I scored the 2nd highest on my team at state, and I got 7th place. And no one expected me to do that. So I started to work on math for like hour a day, sometimes a little bit less. I'm still a little bit inconsistent, but I'm obviously going to do it more. And I'm going to play For the Win. You should try it out. It's a pretty fun game on art of problem solving. And basically, you go in a room with like, not a room, an online room with a few other people, and you solve countdown problems in 45 seconds. And it's actually surprisingly fun. So I felt like it was a huge confidence boost for me, and it helped develop my passion for it. So I made a lot of progress with what I knew about each of the certain topics. I continued to practice past tests, and I followed my teacher's guidance. So there's another boy that I took lessons with, and his name was John. And he always outshined me since 6th grade, since he came from China, I believe. And he was always the one that the teacher expected to do better than me throughout all the younger years, and sort of made me want to like try to do my best. But I still felt like I wasn't spending enough time, and I was surprised how well I was able to do with the little amount of time I spent. Okay, so 8th grade was, I think, a pretty golden year. So I pretty enjoyed to do math, spend like 2 hours a day, and for most of the days. And Discord is probably the best social media if your child's gonna have a social media, because all the math nerds are on Discord, because there's like servers of 10,000s of people, like graduate students, other math competitors that can help you learn and explain problems to you. So this year I got a 21 on ACA, a little bit disappointed, but it's fine. I didn't flunk that bad. And I also got 4th at CGCC. I was pretty disappointed at this one because I scored better last year. So I sort of burned out. Burning out as in, it's like burning out in a sport. When you burn out in a sport, after you practice it for too long, you sort of don't want to play it anymore. And this sort of happened to me in math, but I started to come back. So I did practice AIMSy 10s that year with my tutor, and it sort of helped me through a lot of the higher level competitions. So that was the year that I got the 1st place at Math Counts chapter, and I beat the girl that was named Karen in Countdown, which would eventually come to bite my butt. And it was a huge confidence boost, so I think I became a little bit overconfident. And I went to states. I placed 2nd in the written round, and I was like, okay, I beat the girl last time in chapters, so I can probably do it again. Well, I go to states and I'm in Countdown, and I can't do 25 divided by 5, and a 6th grader beats me in Countdown. That was pretty bad. At the end of the year, I began to read some of the intermediate books, which helped me prepare for some of the high school. So, yeah, once again, it was sort of my golden age, and I was able to accomplish a lot while having a few like falls and tripping over a little bit, sort of. Sometimes I'd push myself a little bit, or my parents would push me a lot, mainly my mom, not pointing fingers. And it sort of led to like moments where I didn't really want to do math anymore. So if you're a parent, just watch out for that. If they feel like, if you notice that they aren't doing as much as they normally do, just stop pushing them for like a month or two and let them figure out how to do it themselves. So the practice on For the Win really helped me a lot later when I was practicing Countdown. But one thing about For the Win that you should know is that once you start playing it for like an hour or two a day, it starts to make you make a lot of silly mistakes. It increases your speed by a lot, but also increases the rate at which you make silly mistakes. So always play For the Win in moderation. So I was generally happy with my performance, but my results still wavered a little bit and were a little bit inconsistent. So Nationals was a pretty fun place, and our coach just happened to be an even smarter guy called Michael Jin. He ended up majoring in pure math at Princeton, and he was a JMO honorable mention, which means that he placed top 24 in the nation as a high schooler. And JMO is a 6-problem test. I believe it's 4 hours or 6 hours long, and it's a proof problem. And you do something in Nationals called pin collecting, where every single state has their own pin. You're trading pins to try to get all 50 states, but I never finished it because I ended up watching Rick and Morty in my hotel room. And I'm glad to meet Luke Robitaille, who's the legend that Jenny was talking about. He's the god of the gods. And I got to meet Hoshin Lo. If you guys don't know, IMO is the highest level of math competition you can get in high school, and he's the IMO coach for the USA. And then, of course, I met Richard Rutzner. And then I was also given a lot of free stuff, of course, like calculators and stuff. Just random pictures of me. The left one is that we were sightseeing memorials. The guy on the right is a smart guy. And then the right side, we were at Five Guys. They give you like $200 for a day to like buy food and souvenirs. And then the left side, we were just walking and visiting places. And the right side, we visited an amazing art museum where they had a statue of a rock on a car with a face painted on it. Okay, so for some general tips. So the resources you use isn't really essential. So like, you shouldn't really worry about what resources you use. It's more important that you get the time in practicing math over like what special things you practice. And also, as I mentioned before, if you feel tired and you don't want to do math anymore, take like a 1-week break from it, because it's better than like burning out and never do math for the rest of your life than just stopping for a week. So also another thing that's important, as Jenny said, when you're taking math counts, you always want to find the fastest solutions. So even if you already solved the problem with a pretty fast method, you want to always be thinking and looking out for a better and faster solution. And then next, if you don't know how to solve a problem, you always want to be keeping it in your mind. Like, you could be in English class, and the math counts probably didn't know how to solve the day before. You could be thinking about it while you're supposed to be paying attention to the economics. Okay, so also, Jenny emphasizes this a lot, but once you learn how to do a certain type of problem, like she teaches you a certain method to solving a type of problem, then you don't want to forget it, because it's going to end up like you'll be in chapter round, and it's going to be number 30, and she already taught you how to do it, but then you don't remember it, and that gets you out of the top 10. Okay, so 2 main lessons. Always be learning and trying your best, because if you ever stop learning, think about it this way. Alex, last time he did it, he talked about climbing a mountain, because everyone is trying to climb the mountain of success. So every single moment you're not thinking about math, there might be someone just coming up from behind you and passing you. Also, the second thing is scores don't mean everything. For example, like how you saw that I got a 12 on an AIMS 8. My tutor could have just dropped me at that point, but she realized that scores don't mean everything. That numbers don't represent you as a person. So you should always try your best, no matter what numbers you get. Eventually you'll be better, and the purpose of math is to improve yourself. It's not to outrank everyone else.